Voidborn Mythology by Axel Hellstrand. Episode 4, Manthahiem.
When I stepped into the village, all of its inhabitants froze up in awe and completely forgot about their chores and activities. The baker stopped baking, the smith stopped smithing, and the cook stopped cooking. All of its inhabitants, who could see me, bowed before me, and the Symphony of Frostborns started to play. It was a haunting, powerful, and beautiful piece of music, and it echoed through the compact village. I had been in this village before, but its layout was a confusing mess, which almost felt like walking through a maze. But I finally found Esme's house, and it was the most worn down and cheaply built house of them all. When we stood close to the house, I put Esme down and walked towards the door. I was very careful when I knocked upon their door. If I knocked any harder, the door would probably splinter into thousands of pieces. After I had knocked, I heard a small and weak voice.
Who is there?
It's me, Neart, and by my side is Esme. They slowly opened the door, and out walked Esme's family, and all of them had an uncanny resemblance to Esme. They were all skinny, and were dressed in similar seagrass rags. Her sisters and mothers looked almost like duplicates, the only difference being that they were older and taller. As quickly as the mother laid eyes upon Esme, she ran towards her beloved child and hugged her intently, and tears of joy ran down her amber eyes.
Oh, my child, I've been so worried about you. Esme? What happened to her, guardian?
I need to speak to you face to face.
Children, take care of your sister.
Yes, Mama. Yes, Mama.
Okay, alright. Esme was attacked by a terrible beast. The encounter left her traumatized.
Oh, my poor child. I must know.
Yes, Flur?
Did you find my husband, guardian?
No. If I had, I would bring him here. But it doesn't mean that he's dead. Maybe he's still alive and still roaming on this island.
Could you please find him, guardian, and bring him back?
Not now.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry, miss.
But I need help.
There are more urgent problems to take care of. As I was leaving the home of Flur, I was interrupted by a yell.
Guardian?
Yes?
Why didn't you teleport to the village?
Well, you see that,
Because you are a stammering, lying fool that can't even say urgent, and worst of all, you did not follow through on what we had agreed on.
Why, you little... Fine. Good luck with finding that husband of yours.
You burn in the sun.
I turned my back towards Flur after I had been so humiliated by that cursed bird. And I know for certain that I will never see Esme and her family again. My act of aggression would forbid me to do so. I passed through the village, and the Symphony of the Frostborns were still playing, and the villagers were still bowing as I passed by them. I ignored it all, and the thought that I would never see Esme overwhelmed my mind. It did sadden me to think of, but I had to move on. My biggest concern now was to kill the monster. The first step to achieving my goal was to get in contact with the Prince of the Madfoods. The problem was that the prince did not live in Fiskmasheim. The royal Manthahiem family always preferred to live high up as possible, and the mountains of Fiskmarsheim did not meet their high expectations. Fiskmarsheim was the flattest part in the whole egg, and it was said that Saga, king of the underworld, had flattened the island with his bare hands out of spite and contempt for his sister Cassine. Because of this, the royal family lived in Manthahiem, the highest part of the southern region, and the sister island of Fiskmarsheim. But traveling to Manthahiem by foot and boat would be too tedious and difficult. I instead waited for the night to arrive, so I could take a shortcut. I walked to the nearest beach and took a well-deserved nap. Hours later I woke up, and the sun was nowhere to be seen, and the sky had become dark blue, and thousands upon thousands of bright stars carried the night sky. I looked to my hand, and like the rest of my body, it had become as transparent as water itself. We Frostborns were different from other species, for many reasons. One of the most obvious was when the moonlight shined at our bodies, we could turn astral. We could now walk through physical objects. We didn't need to breathe, and we were lighter than feathers. In fact, very similar to the souls and spirits of this world. In this form, I could fly to Manthahiem, but there was one problem. The night sky was littered with spirits and other Frostborns. It would be tricky to pass through, and the long lines was not worth it. I had to choose another way. It was time for a stroll through the ocean. I jumped into the sea, and after minutes of falling, I finally fell to the dark depths of the ocean, which were as quiet as the afterlife itself. After walking for a while, I saw a sunken ship that lay before me. But in this form, I could just walk through it, and it was like walking through mist. After I passed through the ship, I heard a plea.
Please help me, Guardian. I beg you.
The plea came from the soul of an adult Fiskmas. Her form was transparent like my own, and her astral body was as purple as lavender.
The other Guardians helped my mates, but they forgot me. Please, Great Guardian, take me to the afterlife. I don't want to be here anymore.
I was momentarily conflicted. I had wasted too much time for the night to arrive. I wasn't sure if I could waste any more time. But guiding souls to the afterlife was my main purpose as a guardian after all. I finally came to my senses. Of course I would help her. I am a guardian. I grabbed her tiny hand and we flew out of the ocean, beyond the sky, and we finally reached the afterlife, also known as the world of infinite nights. The vastness of the afterlife always amazed me, and trying to comprehend the size of this world would surely splinter my mind into pieces. Countless number of souls shined like stars in the night sky, and they were all spread out in this dark vastness. The great silence of the afterlife was interrupted by a voice that echoed inside my head.
Neart.
You can leave her. I will take care of her now.
Every time after I delivered a soul, I would hear a different, yet similar female voice. I always thought it was Queen Shymu, our great goddess, the Voidborn, the mother of the gods, who had spoken to me. But you couldn't be too sure about our gods and goddess. They worked in mysterious and unexplained ways.
I am beyond thankful, Guardian. How can I repay you?
You don't, lad. It's always a pleasure to help the souls. My task was complete and I proceeded with my own mission. I flew down to the egg and landed on my destination, Manthahiem, the island of the royal family. Manthahiem was covered by pine forest and mountains. At the top of the highest mountain on Manthahiem stood a great and shining castle. There it was, Prince Gleric's very own castle. and with one simple bounce I traveled through thousands upon thousands meters of mountain. For others this may have taken days, but for my kind this only took seconds to travel through. After seconds of traveling, I landed on the top of the mountain. Gleric's very own castle, which was sculpted from ice, and it shined so bright in the moonlight. Outside the walls stood one single Manthahiem guard, wielding a great warhammer, dressed in ice armor. It wasn't clear if the guard was a female or male. Her and his armor did a fine job covering that up.
Hold! What is your purpose here in the domain of Prince Gleric?
I must speak with the prince.
Have you planned this meeting?
No?
Well, you are lucky this time. Our prince is not as busy as he usually is.
Does that mean that I can see him?
Not yet. I must still have my prince's approval. This will not take long and will be quick as Cousin herself.
The guard walked through the frozen door. The guard's voice only made it more confusing to what gender she or he was. After a while the guard came back and said,
My prince is awaiting you, Guardian.
We walked through the gate and I followed the guard closely behind. Like the exterior, the inside was also sculpted from ice. The hole was huge, and by every wall stood a guard that was also dressed in armor. And above them were paintings of all of the most significant and important Manthahiems in our history. Some of them were Neart Ironpaw, who single-handedly defeated an army of undead, or Haggis Blackfur, who discovered the ancient island Frostland, and Horus Bright Eyes, who created equality between the different genders. All of them were my heroes, and I always dreamed to have painting of me hanging on these walls. But if I managed to defeat this monster, maybe just then, I could be remembered for the ages like these other great Manthahiem heroes. I would be remembered as Neart the Brave.
Guardian!
I had been lost in my thoughts and dreams, and had not realized that we had reached the end of the hall. In front of us stood a great astral door, which was guarded by two huge guards that were mirror images of each other. The guards stepped aside. I slowly walked through the great door.
Welcome to my domain, Guardian. What brings you here?
There he was, the Prince and Lord of the Manthahiems. He was dressed in black fur, which came from the legendary Southern Manticore, and he wore an ice crown on his heavy brow. His once white fur had turned grey, and he sat on a great throne formed from ice. He must have been a real lover of ice. My lord, something terrible has happened. There is a monster of Fisklasheim.
A monster?
Yes, a child of the Sun God.
That's it?
That's it? Don't you understand the severity of this situation?
You fear a problem that doesn't exist.
What do you mean, my lord?
You shouldn't fear the Fireball. They are honorable and honest creatures.
So killing children is honorable?
What did you say, Guardian?
That's right. It tried to kill a child!
Did they truly kill it?
No. Well, that was because I saved the child!
How do you even know the Fireball's intention? Maybe try to greet her, but you misinterpreted the situation. Cause you know nothing of Fireborn culture.
How much do you know about this so-called Fireborn?
More than you, Guardian. I have associates who have befriended Fireborns. I have also read and studied Fireborn culture for countless years in the halls of wisdom.
Well, this, Fireborn was not like the others. He was feral and barbaric, and he gave me this scar.
Well, if I was attacked by an insane brute, I would do the same.
Insane brute? Oh, I wished I could have smacked some sense into that old fool. But he was my prince after all, and doing it would send me to the White Wasteland. Well, I guess you're not going to help me then.
No. There's nothing to worry about. And second of all, do you even know what day it is?
Cassine's day?
Fool! It is the eclipse today. A portal to the ancient world is opened, and we Frostborns gain another chance to study the ancient world with all of its fascinating creatures. Now be gone. I must prepare for my journey to the ancient world.
I hastily walked away from the room, slammed the door, and later stormed out of the castle. Typical royal Frostborns, preferring knowledge before the safety of the people. I had to solve this problem with my own paws. But I knew for certain that I couldn't do it by myself. We all know how well that went. But I knew where to look elsewhere for help. I would take the crying Manticore for a visit. A couple of hours later, I stood there outside of the tavern. Before I walked inside the tavern, I turned me back to my physical body, so I would not frighten the Skyborns. When I stepped inside the crying Manticore, the music stopped playing, and all of the tavern's visitors' focus shifted towards me. In the middle of the tavern sat two fisk bosses, one lean and athletic, and the other big and plump. They were the two I was looking for, and I walked towards their table.
A guardian? At this time of year? At this time of day? Wandering about in this tiny tavern?
That's correct.
What brings you here, Guardian? I have never seen your kind here before.
It is a urgent, no, urgent. It's important matter, and I'm gonna need your help.
We are sea hunters, not ghost hunters.
It is no ghost that I'm hunting. It is a monster walking about on this island.
A monster? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
More relax. What kind of monster are we talking about?
Well, I don't know. Bloody big, ridiculous strong, and breathes fire from his further jaws. If we don't kill it now, it will probably burn down the entire island.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
More, please relax. Why don't you ask any of your guardian friends to help you?
The other guardians are busy studying nonsense. So that's why I'm asking you two. Sealgair and Moore, Frostborns' greatest hunters. But you two don't seem to be up for the challenge. Maybe you two aren't the greatest hunter after all. Well, boys, it's time for me to find the actually greatest hunters on this island.
Hold your bumble bison there. We want to give it a chance. It is a worthy challenge for the likes of us.
That's right.
That's bloody great. You two will be here as a Frostborns.
I have a question for you, Guardian. Are you sure that only we three can defeat this beast?
I don't think so, but I have a fourth member in mind.
To be continued.